up, everybody? It's Dragonluvr, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. So, I'm picking off from where we last, where we last were. I'm gonna finish up this quest, and then I'm gonna move on with the story quest line. So that way, just, I can't talk today. Alright. Alright, so here we go. Let's take a look. Nothing suspicious about all this. Except for that, maybe. One of the hardest things about being a caster. Can't stay still for a minute. Alright. Now I can continue my investigation. I am not a threat. Pray ignore my presence for the present and allow me in a moment to cogitate. The reaction to my sudden appearance was within expected parameters, but I must admit I did not expect so proficient a performance against the enemy set against you. Yet, effective though your tactics were, I spied much room for improvement. As I watched you battle, the wheels of my mind whirled into motion, as they are wont to do, inventing other possible strategies you might have employed. Let's see. Taking into account your current level of ability, factoring in the factoring the etheric constant, multiplying by the number of opponents, then applying your tactics to other potential combat scenarios. Oh, dear. My calculations indicate failure upon encountering threat level 9785. Well, we'll have to see what we can do about that. Though the opportune window to do so has passed, I would nevertheless introduce myself. I am Kalehi, the Amelvin's intercessor. Acting Master Thurbergim elected me to oversee your training and provide any necessary guidance and instruction in the field of Arcanima. From what I have observed thus far, you are an admirable grasp of the fundamentals. I do wish to confirm one small detail regarding your choice of arcane geometries. What factor most often influences your actions during battle? The desire to outwit my enemy is usually... Aha! Just as I predicted, and now I have the final element needed to perform another calculation. The probability of you becoming an Arcanist of note is 90%, give or take half a percent. Yes, the certainty is quite high. After all, I only know one other practitioner who responded to my question in the same manner. It was the man who bestowed on me this grimoire, the Guildmaster himself. While our inscrutable leader is, as I am sure you heard, on an indefinite leave of absence, he did leave us his most notorious saying to date. Strategy is a tool used to manipulate one situation into the desired reality. No matter how gifted you and I might be, however, the instantaneous manipulation of reality that might cause us to suddenly become mighty arcanists is beyond our present abilities. Discipline and experience is the finest strategy in this case. I suggest you continue to focus on refining your aptitude with carbuncle. Mastery with an arcane entity will greatly improve your success as a wielder of Arcanima. Here ends your lesson for today. Pray return directly to the guild. I believe Mr. Thurbergen is awaiting some inspected cargo. And what of myself? I'm off to the fields, of course. The tactics I reason now must be attempted in real-life scenarios. Theory is all well and good, but there is no substitute for actual combat. We will meet again soon. Alright, onwards. I'll meet you guys there. Alright, here we are once more. I has the cargo. Ah, Torian. Have you returned with the cargo? Here you go, Mom. Yes, everything seems to be in order. Relatively clear of blood and other gore. That can be something of a problem in our profession, and you understand. I also had word from Kalia regarding your performance. She seems eager to continue your training. An odd lass, I'll admit, but the guild can boast no finer mind for tactics. You would do well to heed the instructions she offers, particularly that which touches on the diligent approach of our art. Did you perhaps notice the battered tome Kalia carries? That initiate's grimoire has served her from the day she entered the guild. She has her reasons, but I admitted that it's admittedly strange to see it kept all the way to her present position as Foreseer. I fear such an intense focus on Arcanima has led her to overlook other important aspects of life. As our master strategist guides your Arcanist training, I hope you might return the favor and help to broaden her own perspective somewhat. But enough of such matters for the moment. You have done well this day, Torian. Continue your training or practice with Carbuncle, as Kalia has bid. I will be here when the time comes for your next lesson. And I will take the chess piece. I got a roll action! Something that players hardly ever use, really. I'll move it up there. So I can't do the next quest until I am at least, I believe, in level 10, which is 2 levels from now. So for right now, let us continue on with the story quest line. Onwards! Alright. Here we are. Ah, there you are, Dorian. Enjoy your jaunt around the city, did you? If you mean to base yourself in Limsa Laminsa, that won't be the last time you'll visit them 3 places. And now you've got some idea of what's where, you can start exploring the rest of the town. You've shown a good ear for listening, lad. Stick to it with old Baderon and you'll go far. Right, on to Summerford. Baderon, proprietor of the Drowning Wench, wants you to lend a hand in Summerford Farms. Still in Limsa, are you, Dorian? How'd you fancy a trip outside the city walls? I'd like you to visit an orchard by the name of Summerford Farms. Ever heard of the place? The owner, Stalvern, is an old mate of mine. He's got himself a crew of mostly reformed pirate types, if you can believe that, and has been trying to bring a bit of life back to the fields after the calamity ruined the soil. He mentioned needing another hand or two, and your name sprang to mind.
I gave you a glowing recommendation, so make sure you walk out and impress the old bastard. These directions? The place ain't hard to find. Just take the Zephyr gate out of the city and follow the road northeast. Meet you guys there. Alright, here we are. Oh, and I also forgot to put on my new gear. There we go. Okay. Stalvern. Ah, you must be the adventurer Bedaron promised to send along. Dorian Morgraine, wasn't it? You honored his word, so that's a good start. I'm Starvern. The old bastard, as Bedaron likely described me, and this here is my humble orchard. A good number of the lads and lasses who work in here once terrorized the high seas. And if you're wondering why I employed such scrags, well, they used to crew my pirate ship. But the calamity did it for our ship like it did so many others. I was sore wounded into the bargain. I had to feed myself and my crew somehow. And Admiral Melville's initiative to get us landlocked buccaneers working in the field seemed too fine an offer to refuse. Turns out you can take the pirate away from the sea, but you can't take the sea away from the pirate. A lot of my blokes just never took to tending the soil, you see. And unfortunately, the botanists I call in to train them have been wringing their hands in black despair. There's so much work piling up, I need a tougher soul like you to step in and help where it's needed. And I will take... I'll take these. Just for right now. And I leveled up again! Alright. Stalvern, owner of Summerford Farms, wishes to inspect your equipment and thereby gauge your readiness for the tasks he has in mind. I've a mind to set you a task, Morgan, but before I do, I need to be sure you're properly kitted out. Pirates don't care to parley with dandies, you understand, and it might well be the ones here have traded in their cutlasses for coulters, but they're still rogues at heart. I know a solid set of gear when I see it. Come back when you think you're more suitably equipped.
Luckily I am. Hey! Lucky me!
Let's have a look at you, shall we? Oh, as long as you're this well covered, I won't feel any guilt thrown on you at the sharks. Erstwhile buccaneers are an ornery type. They rage in love for the sea and care little for the laws of the land. But they respect strength, and by the looks of you, I'd say you'll have little trouble getting their attention. Ah, Morgan! That aura of confidence tells me you've not been idle since last we met. I hope I've read you all right, for I have a task that requires the attention of a capable adventurer. Might that adventurer be you?
Stalvern, the owner of Starverford Farms, has a task for a competent adventurer.
Good to hear. Then I shall lay before you the sorry tale. You'll have heard rumours of the abductions. Aye, citizens have been disappearing from every corner of Limsa Lominsa, as if plucked from the very face of Heidelin, boots and all, by an unseen hand. And what's that got to do with Summerford Farms, you might ask? Well, that remains to be seen. But it seems a collection of right unsavory fellows with azure tattooed faces have been creeping up the edges of the fields and spying on my yeoman. Now I doubt anyone would enjoy being scrutinized by the savages at the best of times, but the farmhands are convinced that they're the kidnappers of the rumors, come for their hides. Needless to say, they're beside themselves with worry, and their work's suffering for it, which is the very last thing I need when my old crewmen are still getting used to their new jobs. It is a struggle to get them to leave the farmhouse in the morning. That is, as they say, where you come in. Will you be willing to investigate these tattooed thugs for me? Good lad. The sooner you get to the bottom of this, the sooner this place will start resembling a working farm again. I suggest you begin by having a look around the Seasong Grotto. If reports are to be believed, our unwelcome visitors have occupied the place. Be careful though, Morgan. I could say for sure what manner of miscreants we're dealing with here. If they are the kidnappers, well, just be on your guard, alright? Right, I'll head on over, but first things first, I'm going to attune to this crystal so that way I have a way back and forth. Because trust me, I'm going to need this. Now I can teleport. Alright, let's head on over to Seasong Grotto. Onward! I don't want to be cursed because I'll be silenced. Ooh. And if I'm silenced, I can't do my spells. Fuck. I thought you would die. Ah! Come on. Oh, no. There we go. And I can level up. I mean, all right. Now onto this. It's a solo duty. Yeah, I know. All right. And I'ma shut up.
I am the waves that bear. I am the winds that guide. I am the evening stars. I am the morning sky. I am born of the sea, and there shall I die. Thus reads the sailor's requiem, carved into yonder stone. Such words well describe the manner in which the citizens of Limsa Lominsa live their lives. It is both a litany against misfortune for those out on the waves, and a prayer that the souls of those who perish on land might find their way back to the sea. Ah, you are the adventurer I've seen around Summerford Farms. I thought myself on the trail of the kidnappers, but it would seem I have missed my mark. Or perhaps not. As I suspected, the etheric disturbance here is no natural occurrence. Nor is it a coincidence that the two of us should come here in search of those responsible for the disappearances, only to be attacked. But who stands to benefit from the keeping of this secret? Oh, such thoughts must wait. Let us attend to the task at hand, unpleasant though it be.
Game on. Ooh, God. You know about this. I'm scrolling out because I need to see. Get him, Carbuncle! I'm gonna protect myself with that. Shit. Oh, Crikes, we got company again. Oh, God. My Aegis is gonna wear off, though! I guess my Aegis. Bugger off! There we go. Duty complete.
Phew! Hear, feel, think. Crystal Bearer. I am Hydaelyn, all made one. A light there once was that shone throughout this realm, yet it hath since grown dim. And as it hath faltered, so hath darkness risen up in its stead, presaging an end to life. For the sake of all, I beseech thee, deliver us from this fate. The power to banish the darkness dwelleth in the crystals of light. Journey forth and lay claim to them. By thy deeds shall the crystals reveal themselves. to thee. Only believe, for the light liveth in thy heart. Go now, my child, and shine thy light on all creation. Awake again, are we? Aha! The poor creature's fury was kindled with cruel forethought. See this blade? I found it in the Gubu's back. I have seen knives of this kind before. They are most commonly used for the cutting of rope. It would appear our culprits are seafaring men of some persuasion, piratical being the most probable. In any event, you seem much recovered from your sudden affliction. I confess, I was rather taken aback when you collapsed at the very moment of our victory. Mayhap a surfeit of ether? I beg your pardon. A towering crystal. I'm sure I don't... Oh! Well, well. This has been a day of unexpected revelations. I must continue my investigation. In the meantime, I suggest you deliver this knife to your patron, along with a warning concerning the pirate's probable involvement in this murky business. The days ahead promise little rest, I fear. May our paths cross again, under the light of the crystal.
All right. Onwards and upwards. Ah, here we go.
Morgan! Right glad am I to see you safely returned. My lads were all gabbing about here what sounded like all 7 hells breaking loose near the grotto. I feared I'd sent you to your death. If you were in the middle of that commotion, I hope it yielded something of interest. I'd hate to think you'd risk your life for naught. A blade pulled from the back of a creature you slew in the cave, eh? Aye, I'd agree that such a knife would be part out of any seafaring man's kit. I'm starting to think that these ruffians are pirates, come to lure my farmhands back to a life of plunder. Chances are they didn't take kindly to your appearance on their doorstep, and set a mad Gubu on you. Aye, the pirates have been adding to their numbers of late. I'd best warn the lads and lasses and my employees be on guard against their schemes. You met someone else in the grotto. A woman with a strange contraption. Ah, you stole her. She's been in Limsa for a good while now. Her studies of the Aether often bring her to Summerford, so her presence at the grotto was hardly unusual. She's an odd-looking lass, I grant you, but she's not the kind to associate with kidnappers. You may take my word for that. Where trust should be lacking in those yeomen of mine who have yet to wholly relinquish their pirate pasts, the temptation to return to the free and easy life of a buccaneer may prove too strong to resist. You have my thanks, Morgan. If it weren't for the efforts of stalwart adventurers like yourself, this farm would be in a worse state than it is. Just you keep on lending your talents to those in need, eh? Help bring Limsalam into the bright future she deserves. I will take this.
Level up again! Woo!
But first things first, let us diverge once more and continue our class quests. Alright. Acting Guildmaster Thurbergrim wishes to assess the improvement of your Arcanima skills. Yes, Torian, the time for your next lesson is upon us. You are keeping well, I trust, taking the occasional brisk walk. One cannot form sound thoughts if one fails to maintain a sound body. Now, assuming you've been following Kilia's instructions, you should be ready to face the more dangerous threats found in western Lanosia. I speak of roselings and wild jackals. And yes, I would have you vanquish 3 of each. 'Tis the perfect sample size. The first acts as a preliminary test case, the second to test your hypotheses, the third to perfect the tactics you've devised. Speaking of which, I trust your strategy will consist of more than simply flinging ruin over and over again. You are not the novice you once were, and your skills in the field ought to reflect that. If you find yourself wanting for other approaches, consider an assault with ruin in tandem with attacks from your carbuncle. When timed appropriately, you can deal a crippling blow to your opponent. Let's get to it. Fester is just too powerful.
Oh my god!
Alright, now for the roselings. Here we go. Let's get this done. Wait, now to return back. I'm gonna use a ticket because I need to save up. Welcome back, Torian. How did it feel to conquer such ferocious foes? Let us ride that wave of triumph onto an even more demanding and dangerous challenge. Your next training exercise will have you accompanying Forcia Kalia on one of her inspections. This experience will afford you the opportunity to witness firsthand the practical application of Arcanima. Pray do not tarry, Torian. Kalia awaits you on the floor below with further details. sit on down. Alright.
A timely appearance, as I expected. Shall we proceed directly to the job at hand? I have been tasked with examining the wares of the Goblin Peddler caravan run by the Bull Herstock's family. Our agents suspect these beastmen merchants of dealing in forbidden goods. As such, I have calculated that announcing an inspection has a 60% chance of inviting physical violence. I have prepared a strategy that respond to this possible shift into hostilities, but there is an important precondition that you should be made aware of before we discuss the finer points of my plan. Though I am considered gifted in the formation of tactics, I lack the reflexes and coordination necessary to employ many of these self-same strategies on the field of battle. Pray keep this factor in mind and adjust your perceptions accordingly. Now, should the goblins offer battle, you are to execute pattern 1345, otherwise known as stratagem focus fire. You and your carbuncle will concentrate your attacks on a single foe, and one by one the enemy will wither under the combined onslaught. Probability of victory 95%. Reports place the peddlers in the vicinity of the cookpot in Middle Lanosia. I will depart immediately to assess the situation. Seek me out once you've arrived.
Right. To Middle Lanosia. Away! I don't want to spend too many of my tickets, but yeah. Scrolling all the way up for this. Alright. Here we go.
I am Vorsia Kalia of Melvan's Gate. You are to cease all transactions and surrender your goods for inspection. Nasty sneaky peekies. Go be smitten. A plan of nosy eyes and stabby iron. A predictably aggressive response. Very well, Torian. Remember what we discussed.
Come on, Radiant Aegis. And come on, and dead. Duty complete.
Yeah! I did it! Nicely done. Adaptation, improvisation. I might have been observing the beloved guildmaster himself in action. This was the perfect example of how the strategy for a given task should be tailored to the ability of the assessor. In other words, before you begin formulating your tactics, it is necessary to fully understand your own strengths and weaknesses. On that note, there is another question I would ask you. When it comes to improving the probable success of a strategy, do you consider it more effective to concentrate on playing to your strengths or showing up your weaknesses? More of covering my weaknesses. Aha! Again your spawn, and as the Guildmaster once did, I must revise the probability of your potential to attain the greatness to 97%. You are one to keep an eye on, that's for certain. But to return to the subject of battle plans, your calculations must include an accurate assessment of your available techniques and their relative effectiveness. This requires you to be critically aware of your own limits, the limits of your allies, and the characteristics of your enemies. I believe that covers everything for today. Please return to the guild and make your report to Mistress Thurbrigim. Until we meet again, I shall abide here until the Yellow Jackets arrive. I have to take the peddlers into custody. My strategies will keep me company. Meet you guys in the Arcanist Guild. Here we are. Back from the field, Torian. Kalia contacted me with a summary of events. It seems you were treated to a lecture of knowing thyself. That particular lesson is ordinarily taught to only the intermediate practitioners. Without a sufficient store of combat and experience from which to draw, it is difficult to fully appreciate the profundity of such a seeming... Fuck. Nevertheless, I feel confident that you will soon be ready for a more ambitious assignment. Keep to your studies and maintain the razor edge of your mind. One last thing, Torian. Considering the dedication you have thrown towards our discipline, I have determined to permit you leave to explore the teachings offered by other guilds. I would suggest, however, that you first master the science of Arcanima. The strategic training you receive here will serve you, no matter the path you eventually choose to walk. Return to me when your reason tells you the time is right. So in which case, I can take on any other class if I wanted to. And I'm going to take any gloves. I can res people now! Gear sets are now available. Which case, should I feel like I want to switch to a different class, I could just slap it on and voila. So let's do that real quick. I will do a showcase of all the different classes later on in the future. That I will promise to the best of my abilities. But for right now, I am going to teleport back to Summerford Farms and leave my character there because I am out of time for this recording. So yeah guys, that's gonna be it for me today. If you like, thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, then slap that like button, comment down below, and add this to y'all's favorites. What am I saying? Nobody favorites videos anymore. Let me try that again. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked what you saw, then slap that like button, comment down below, and share this across all social media if you want to. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you can stay up to date with every single upload I make. I'm Dragonluvr, and I will see you next time. See ya!